I did a video, I don't know if it was yesterday or the day before yesterday, talking about how the attitude of the people on the conservative right in this country shifted completely when the older millennial got arrested, right? When it was George Floyd getting arrested, it was just comply. Don't resist arrest. You get what you got coming to you. When it's the older millennial, it's oh my god, it was a warrant. It's not like you had to go that far and tase the guy and yada yada yada. When it was George Floyd, it was now he's a fucking drug addict. What do you expect out of these fucking people? When it's the older millennial, it's well, I mean, he suffers from an addiction. I mean, come on, cut him a break. Like this guy here.
There's a creator on here that goes by the name of the older millennia, and he has been arrested for he had a DUI. He didn't follow the rules of his DUI, and he got arrested again. The problem that I have is the amount of people who don't understand how severe alcoholism is. As a person, as a recovering alcoholic, a Marine Corps veteran, if you drink and you drive, you are just one of those people that are going to get caught at some time or almost kill somebody. But the fight to not drink alcohol is real. And everybody that thinks it's just so, I don't like him because I disagree with him. You don't understand the struggle that man's going through in his head every day. So I pray for y'all as I pray for him as he gets better. And you guys be blessed. No, screw that. I hope you grow up. Because if that was your parent, if that was your loved one, you wouldn't like it if somebody was mistreating him like it. And again, you disagree with his views, you disagree with some of the things that he says, but this is the internet, and that is real life, and that is a real struggle. What I'm not gonna do is badger you when you're already in a down state. I hope you find your way, brother. I'll keep praying for you. Be blessed.
See how the attitude changes when it's not, somebody that they don't like. Addiction to fentanyl, you get what you got coming to you if a cop kills you in the middle of the street in broad daylight. Addiction to alcohol, hey man, we gotta leave this guy alone. Let me ask you a question. Did his alcoholism make him a piece of shit human being? Did his alcoholism cause him to hold viewpoints that he holds? Did his alcoholism cause him to grift $3.5 million, almost $3.5 million out of his followers? I'm just asking because you seem to be blaming that on the alcoholism. To all you folks on the right that are defending the older millennial, let me remind you exactly who he is. First of all, he's a gentleman who says that older people and the disabled people who he says serve no purpose to society, should be thrown off the side of a fucking mountain. And if you work a 9-to-5 job, you're a loser. You're a loser. You work a 9-to-5 job because life didn't turn out the way you thought.
Yeah, so I guess we've kind of reached an end point.
I'm perfectly fine with throwing mentally disabled people off a mountain.
All right.
I believe in the betterment of humanity. I don't think we should care
people.
Yeah, I think people who are going to hold humanity back, we should eliminate them.
Can you define hold humanity back?
Yeah, people who have met an IQ standard that they cannot support humanity or support a normal job or are mentally disabled.
That's one video of the older millennial talking about how disabled people and elderly people should be tossed off the side of a fucking mountain. Now, these videos come from Doc Hazard's video. I've cut them down to show you just bits and pieces of them. I'm going to try and tag Doc Hazard if you're on TikTok in order to be able to see that. Here is a clip from a live that the older millennial did in which he was doxing, allegedly, Doc Hazard, and explaining how Doc Hazard works a 9-to-5 because essentially he's a loser. Life didn't work out.
No, here's the thing, Doc Hazard. What it is a passion project that failed miserably. And now you work a 9-to-5. Good for you, bro. Look, here's the thing. I get it. You got to pay the bills. But you're not going to come at me as somebody who pursues different things and act like we're on the same level. You're not. You work your 9-to-5 because you failed at what you wanted to do in life. I keep doing what I'm doing and I'm succeeding. And you work a 9 to 5 because you failed at what you wanted to do.
Yes, that's the older millennial saying that if you work a 9 to 5 job, it's because you failed at life. You failed at what you really wanted to do. And then he's talking about how Doc Hazard, because he works a 9 to 5 job, is not on the same level as the older millennial. What would that be? Grifting your followers out of millions of dollars so that you can make money doing nothing? This is the guy that set up that cooperative investment fund for working class Americans and got people to send him $500 in a crack, where he immediately took 25% off the top for himself, which, based on the initial earnings, means he scraped a cool 800 grand off the top in a few months for doing nothing but developing a website. By the way, I have developed all of my company's websites, including my current website, by myself on GoDaddy. Didn't cost 800 grand, but then again, I'm not a fucking piece of shit right-wing grifter. And I wonder if that means that the older millennial thinks that I'm a success because I'm making more money than I ever have, and I'm doing so by not working a 9 to 5. But I digress. That's who you're defending. All you people on the right that are defending the older millennial, yeah, we get it, he was arrested, blah, 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 blah. That's who you're defending. A guy that says that older people and handicapped people should be thrown off the side of a fucking mountain, and if you work a 9 to 5 job, it's because you failed at life. That's who you're defending. Oh, by the way, he's still, as of this morning, I checked, in custody in Pinellas County for failing to live up to his parole, evading a warrant, resisting arrest, and getting tased. Just sprinkle that on top of what you just saw in those videos. That's who you're defending. He's a fucking piece of shit. I get it. He has an addiction, and I've said in other videos, I hope he gets his treatment for his addiction. I hope he gets his addiction under control, because addiction is a bitch. But addiction didn't make him be the piece of shit that he is. Addiction just makes him act out on his piece of shitness. I've always found that when you when you smoke, you chill. When you drink, the true you comes out. So when he gets sauced up and he gets on a live and he says, yeah, I believe that we should toss old people and disabled people off the side of a mountain, that's the true Joe Red. You're seeing a glimpse into what he really believes when he drinks. Keep defending a piece of shit, though. P.S. To the gentleman whose video I showed you who said if it was your family, you wouldn't feel the same way. If it was my family, I'd get that fucking person some help. Which is something clearly the people around the older millennial aren't doing. He has what I see as a whole bunch of hanger-ons, right? He's in the limelight. The president has posted him. He's grifted millions of dollars off of people. Right now, people want to be part of his posse over there on the right. If you got him some fucking help, you might not be part of his posse anymore, huh? Yeah, if it was my family, I'd actually do something to try and get him some help. We haven't seen anything. Now, maybe it's happening behind the scenes, maybe, but it sure as fuck doesn't seem like it is.